Welcome to Thriver TV, the place to break free from narcissistic abuse with quantum tools and understandings. And it was so interesting when I was setting up the set for today. This little man was all over me. He's been hanging back on Thriver TV and he's like, no, I'm in on this one. And I really think it's because he was nearly replaced with terrible Tiggy. You know, not impressed. So that doesn't happen, he's definitely back. Thank you everybody for your support with the last video. I'm so proud of this community and how quantum we go and how we are really breaking into new trajectories and to new truths that we want to embrace and hold and live. So it's just so beautiful to be a part of that with all of you. Today, what I want to talk about is the 7 things that narcissists can do when we go no contact with them. And it's really important because to get to the stage of no contact and believe that you can mean it and hold it is difficult enough. It can be really excruciating. But barely any of us were prepared for what might happen with a narcissist after going no contact. And this video of mine is to help you understand the intricacies of what you might be in for, how the narcissist does think and feel, and what you can do to withstand all the twists and turns that could cause you to hand your power away, rehook, and get hurt again. And so much of what is agonizing is wondering what they might do next. And if we've not as yet turned inwards and made this time all about getting in contact with and healing our own inner traumas that are going to be heightened and which are going to come screaming up to the surface, we're in for a really hard time. So let's just look quickly at that because it's called aftershock. It's when we're no longer in the fight, we're no longer on the battlefield, and it's when the trauma of yesterday, last week, months, and even years ago will come screaming to the surface. It comes up, bites you fair and square on the butt. And it's the peptide addiction of every cell in your being trying to get you to rehook to the narcissist because that is the person who you've been getting the hugest rushes of emotions from, and the hypothalamus in your brain has been manufacturing the chemicals, the peptides that your entire being is hooked on, which means that your mind will obsess about the narcissist constantly. You feel like a heroin addict going cold turkey unless you break away, stay away, and heal from the peptide addiction. And the way to do that is to self-partner, meet our trauma, and release it. And if we don't do that, the addiction when doing no contact feels relentless. You're going to be thinking, what is he or she doing? Who is he or she with? Does he or she love me and miss me or not? And it can literally drive us crazy. And if we're all consumed with it, we're likely to try to work out what they do, what they're doing, who they're with, and we may keep contact with people who know them to find out what they're up to. Or we may stalk them on social media or even do drive-bys past their home. Many of us have done these things before we realise that our healing path needs to be all about ourselves and not the narcissist. So I want to cover off what the possibilities are of what the narcissist may do and the healing solutions to all of them. So let's get started. Number 1 thing that could happen, this is one of the things, big things, the narcissist may express that they'd already ended the relationship. The narcissist's ego is monstrous. He or she may state to you or people that you know so it gets back to you that they've actually decided it was over. Then they may get in first with changing their Facebook status, deleting every photo of you off their social media and defriending you. And the result is this could send you reeling. And if you were going no contact because you wanted to teach the narcissist a lesson, secretly hoping that they'd get it and come back to you, or if you weren't really prepared to self-partner and heal within you the traumas that could arise, and especially if you're still suffering unmet traumas in your body to do with abandonment fears, you may be triggered into going after the narcissist, giving up even more pieces of yourself, and falling back on the hook again, even worse than before. So the healing remedy to this is go within to soothe and heal back to wholeness the young, unhealed terror of not feeling loved and being rejected and abandoned, or whatever it is. It could be the feelings of somebody not loving you enough to fight for you. So a combination for those of you who are NARPers, a combination of Module 1 and Module 2 work in the NARP program effectively addresses this. So the two thing that a narcissist may do when you go no contact is make contact with you about random things. This is the narcissist testing the water, because narcissists do not like to lose narcissistic supply. They like to think that people are still hooked and that they can't get over them, and the narcissist could take back up with you at any time. So it's a bit like crocodiles keeping lumps of meat under a rock for a chew later on. This is where you need to be strong, because the narcissist may ask about things and then disappear mid-conversation, or ask cryptic questions or make suggestions that are confusing, all to get your head spinning, or say something like, somebody's at the door, I've got to go, so that you will think that they may have started seeing someone else. And this is a prod by the narcissist to see whether you will be triggered, what you're going to do, and whether they can reel you back in. So of course, this is if you break no contact, which, you know, this is what's going to happen if you do. So the result is, if you do break no contact and you do start engaging, you could fall easily again into the unconsciousness of trying to get answers or sense, or trying to find out whether they miss you, or trying to confront them, or trying to get them to take responsibility, and getting yourself into an insane circular conversation that's only going to feel more invalidating and confusing, and of course traumatic and painful. So the healing remedy is don't engage, maintain no contact. Better still, block all channels of contact. And then keep shifting and purging all of the addiction to having contact with a narcissist or thinking about them, because you're detoxing this toxic relationship. You're detoxifying. And that calls for lots of dedication to your inner being and your inner work. And that's what the entire NARP program is, that step-by-step process. So number 3, the narcissist may appear to take full responsibility and be accountable and rectify all the things that you were continually bringing to their attention that were unlivable for you. Or they may partially promise these things, whatever they think is enough to get you to return to the relationship. They may even in this phase start seeing a counsellor and even discuss with you their childhood wounds that are causing them to behave the way they do. And it can sound really believable. If the narcissist can't contact you, they may use other people by proxy to deliver their message of redemption to you. And this can be so hard to resist, because you may go through the experience of feeling like, finally, this is it. He or she has changed. And the result is you may capitulate and get back with the narcissist, and then discover in a short amount of time that the ego defenses come flying back up again. Things go back to how they were and then are worse than before. This is a cycle of violence intensifying, because unless true inner work and reform has occurred for the narcissist, which is nothing short of purging their traumas and deeply healing their subconscious programs, the narcissist's ego will reinstate And once it does, it will want to punish you for forcing the narcissist to be vulnerable and having to suck up to you. The narcissist will want to turn it all back on you. Those of us who did go back found out the hard way. Things only got worse. The healing remedy is keep fully connecting to your own healing and becoming your own source of love, approval, survival, and security. Do the work on not feeling sorry or responsible for others, and instead having a full responsibility for the sovereignty of your own soul. That's Module 6 work in NARP. Know this, when you heal and empower yourself, the people in your life who do have the resources will join you, and those that don't won't, because you're not a wounded match for them anymore. Healing from the soul fractures that narcissists have would take years if it was ever possible. Create your own life and healing and connect with healthy others, not damaged people who have never done and have no intention of doing the real inner work. Number 5, the narcissist may have a tragedy or an issue that he or she tries to get you back with through sympathy or guilt. The narcissist knows you are a caring person with compassion and may try, especially if this is your weakness, to hook you back in with things such as, I'm sick, I'm not coping with losing you, I've had an accident, I lost somebody close to me, I lost my job, whatever it is. And the result is this. It can be very hard to resist going to the rescue of somebody we once loved to help them, even after they treated us abysmally, especially if we believe they may not have anybody else to help them. And you may still have the unhealed pattern from childhood within you of, if I take care of other people who are sick and broken, they will have the resources to love me. You may not have realized that you've been doing this with a narcissist unconsciously, trying to heal someone sick and broken so that they can in fact love you, trying to right the wrongs this time from your painful childhood. And the narcissist appealing to you for help and sympathy may spin you into overdrive, subconsciously trying to achieve this. And of course it doesn't work. And for the narcissist, this is all about them roping you in, retaining narcissistic supply and getting an ego feed again. There's nothing in this for you other than more trauma, disappointment, and abuse. So the healing remedy is don't fall for it. Heal that part inside that feels triggered into being responsible for helping the narcissist, and guilty if you don't. Know that you are responsible for yourself and your own health and boundaries first and foremost. And that is your responsibility to the people you love and life itself. Know that the narcissist will find somebody else if necessary to help, if this is real, and regardless of whether it is or not, stay away. Number 6. They may do terrible things to trigger you and get your attention. And this is horrible when it happens. This could include abuse by proxy, smearing, discrediting, stealing from you, damaging your property, hurting those you love, and trying to destroy your life in any way that they can. This is a two-pronged attack. It's used as a method to punish you for not appeasing the false self enough, and for the warped belief of what you did to them, which is usually the projection of what the narcissist actually did to you. And it's also a way to get your attention and get you to hand over narcissistic supply. This helps the narcissist feed their ego enough to know that they exist and that they still have power over you. And the result of it is, if you were a person in the relationship who fought back against terrible abuse and behaviour, yet stayed on in the relationship, such as I was like that, and many of us have been like that, we were a wonderful source of A-grade supply. Plus, we supplied the added bonus of being the dumpster that they could offload their wounds onto and into. If he or she knows you react and fight back, you're a target for this tactic. The healing remedy is heal that part inside that tries to fix, change, and stop crazy, abusive people so that you can be safe. Pull away, detach, and heal all that comes up and is triggered within you. And instead, attach to healthy resources and people. And know that in regard to smearing and abuse by proxy, the best course of action is to be authentic, knowing that you are honest and a good person, and walk that straight line, and the truth will do the rest. Heal any triggers that come up within you, and you'll discover that all the narcissist antics start to fall on deaf ears and have no power. That's module 8 work in NARP. So number 7, the last of the major things that a narcissist can do to you when you go no contact. Number 7 is this: move on and replace you with new supply. This is very likely in any case. Often narcissists hedge their bets, and if it looks like things could end with you and the ship is going down, they usually have another one already waiting at the dock. To a narcissist, you are an object performing a role. There is no one home to really genuinely love themselves, let alone another. And you are simply the being who offers up enough energy to take them away, self-medicate them from their own inner traumas. If you're no longer available to do that job, then someone else needs to be. The drug is narcissistic supply, and people are the dispensers of it. The narcissist is likely to be doing this in the background anyway, but now this may be something that's flaunted in your face to punish you. So the result is you may feel unspeakable trauma. This could bring up all the terrible insecurities, such as I was never loved and the love wasn't real, because how could I be replaced so quickly? Maybe she or he is going to be different with this new person. This new person is getting the dream that I no longer have, plus my home, my things, and maybe even access to my children. The trauma of being replaced may be so bad that this feels like extreme trauma, such as your ancient DNA being triggered into feelings such as, I'm now thrown out of the hut and I'm going to starve to death because I've been replaced. It really can be that horrific and extreme. Totally. I truly think that this is one of the most horrible things that we could ever go through. And it may be so bad that you try to self-medicate with a bad choice, such as trying to hook up with a new relationship prematurely or having sex with somebody, which is only going to hurt you more. Or maybe this cripples you into a terrible depression where you feel like you can't face life and you dread bumping into the two of them. And you may have the overwhelming urge to contact the new supply to tell them about the narcissist and warn them. The healing remedy is this: heal, heal, heal. Heal it. Go inside and self-partner with every trauma that you feel has been triggered. Load it up, release it, and bring in your true self replacement. And I'd suggest module 4 work, which is the injustices of what the narcissist can do, as well as module 2 work, which brings you back to a source to yourself, as well as module 9, which is about fully disconnecting from the narcissist. And module 7 and 10 are also very effective when in deep trauma. And then you will more easily be able to let go, get on with your life, and rid yourself of all of the envy and the pain connected to the relationship, all of it whatsoever. And you also will let nature take its course, knowing that the new supply is on a healing journey just as you were with the narcissist. And you're going to evolve into a higher relationship inner imprint for your future than your inner being was previously at. And this feels so good when you get there. So those are the 7 things, and I hope that's helped, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you need this information, if you would also like to access the deeper healing system that addresses this trauma that we spoke about in this video, you can sign up to my free 16-day recovery course, and it includes an invitation to a healing workshop with me, 2 comprehensive free ebooks, and so much more. So it's really simple to access it. All you have to do is click the link at the top right of this video. And remember, if you want to watch more of my stuff, make sure you like and subscribe so you get notified as soon as each new video is released. And please share the Thriver mission, get other people involved. So until next time, keep healing and keep smiling, keep thriving. There's nothing else to do, there really isn't. And Tiggy's fallen asleep, but he's going to say bye-bye, everybody. Till next time, lots of love. Bye-bye.